living my life in London. I'm doing it right in London. Na 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 na. I'm living my life. Hello, 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 hello. All right, we want to start by introducing my co-stars from AJ and the Queen. Now, put your hands together for Trinity the Tuck. And, of course, Jujubee. Ladies, have a seat. We are here to talk about AJ and the Queen. Now, we'll start with you, Trinity. Now, other than on Drag Race, had you done any acting before, AJ, outside of Drag Race and AJ?
Absolutely not. Girl, I'm from Alabama. There was nothing like that there. You didn't have opportunities like that. So other than doing drag, I mean, being gay, you're pretty much acting your entire life till you come out.
Yeah.
So other than that, no. Like, there was nothing.
Her character, what's your character's name?
Danielle Dupree.
Danielle Dupree.
From Texas.
Did you ever know a Danielle Dupree?
I knew a Danielle who was a huge pageant queen. She still is a pageant queen.
Yeah.
From Orlando, actually.
Yeah.
Huge pageant queen. Blonde. That's kind of what I based my character off of, because she was blonde, she was Southern, she had huge boobs. Yeah.
Had you done any, Juju?
You know what? In high school, I played Mr. McAfee in Damn Yankees.
Mr. Who?
The dad.
That's Mr. McAfee?
Yeah.
In Damn Yankees?
In Damn Yankees. Sorry for cursing.
Yeah. What's the big song from Damn Yankees?
I can't remember.
Did anybody know what the big song from Damn Yankees?
Put on a happy face.
Oh, it's Put on a Happy Face?
Yeah.
Put on a happy face. Wrong melody, but I don't care. Trinity, what did you do to prepare for the role?
Well, I auditioned several times. You guys kept sending me script and having me send in audition tapes. And so the first one was for one of the Mean Girls, which I think was Kennedy's role. And y'all were like, nope, not for that one. So I was like, well, oh God, I was awful, I guess.
Or maybe just not mean enough.
Yeah, maybe not. Well, that's a lie. And then you guys had me audition for Lee St. Lee, which was what Juju played. Yeah. And then you guys were like, no. So then I did Danielle, and then ding, 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 Yahtzee.
Yeah, right. Because before the show came out, the trailer came out, and you've got one of the best lines in the trailer. Are you willing to recreate your line in the trailer? Do you need to prepare at all?
Hold on.
Okay.
I'll just think back to All Stars 4.
Yeah,
Where's my crown at? Thank you. Now the Oscar goes to...
In proper English and everything.
Now I better see a little snippet on season 2, episode 1. What the hell happened to my crown? Yeah. Because I'm still waiting, Rue.
So now, Juju,
yes.
You've got a big part in this show also. What did you do to prepare for the role?
Well, I kind of feel like I just kind of played myself, right? Just
Doesn't everybody?
Kind of a drunk
I mean,
ditz,
come
right?
on. Yeah. I mean, the only person who doesn't is Meryl Streep. She's the only one who can do all those accents and everything. You know. Do you do any accents?
Sometimes.
Can you want?
I could do like an Australian one because they're always like, oh, I know right? I could do that.
Oh yeah, that was terrible.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it really? Was it terrible? But how's my makeup?
It's gorgeous.
Terrible.
Now, when you saw Juju, when you saw the finished product, did you think, oh, I wish I could have done that differently, or what would you have changed?
You know what? I liked that I played it a little ditzy, but I think I could have pushed it a little bit bitchier.
Bitchier?
I think it could have been that. But I think Lee St. Lee, because she's saintly, I think she was nice.
Yeah.
And I think she's in recovery and she has that spiritual mindset and she's just happy to be there.
Well, there's one line that I laughed out loud at because I wasn't on set when you said this one thing. But you two are together in this scene and you say, do you remember how it sets up? You said, I'm waiting for my people to get here. She's been talking to my people from
AA, NA, and PA.
What is PA?
Pennsylvania. Did you know? Do you know the story behind that?
No.
So that wasn't an original line, and it was switched right then. Remember that? He was like, "Hey, just add PA," and then we did it, and it was just funny.
Yeah, well, because Michael Patrick King, who is the director and co-creator of the show, is from Scranton, PA. So I love that. And because I wasn't there when you changed the line, so when I actually watched it, I laughed out loud.
It was hilarious.
Hilarious, yeah. But see, now we are in England right now. We are in England, and the sort of PA joke, they don't know what PA is, right?
Y'all know Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Pennsylvania, yeah. All right, so now, Trinity, where were you when you watched the whole show?
Well, I was invited to do this panel with you, and so AJ, we went to your premiere, saw the first episode, and then we had very little time before we were here. So I told my fiance, I'm like, he hates binge watching stuff too. He hates it. He doesn't like TV. I love it. So I was like, I'm sorry, but I gotta know what happens.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna be talking on this panel, I gotta know what happens.
Yeah.
And I can't watch just my episode. I need to see the whole show to see how, my part plays into this.
Well, you want to see if you die in the end,
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. So I ended up watching it at home. We binge watched it literally the entire season in 2 days.
Oh, it's such an incredible journey, this whole thing, because Michael Patrick King and I met together it was June of 2017 is when we first got together and decided, let's do this thing. Within 15 minutes of this first meeting, we had the whole concept for AJ and the Queen. And we knew then that we wanted to incorporate all of the girls, as many girls as we could. We have 22 prostitutes in our show from Drag Race.
And the bidding will start at $20. 20 pounds, 20 pounds.
No, 22 girls. How many girls in your episode? Do you remember? There were so many.
And you didn't just include Ru girls. Like you had so many non-Ru
Title
girls.
holders.
Like in ours, it was all pageant queens. There was a lot of huge, big name trans pageant queens that are from the old school pageant. Y'all, I don't know how y'all dug them up, but you dug.
Yeah, yeah.
They were legit. All those actors that you saw in the background, they were pageant queens.
Right.
Yeah. Well, Juju, what was the toughest part of doing this shoot of AJ and the Queen for you?
For me, it was trying to figure out where, because I only got the scenes that I got, right? I was trying to figure out where it was all gonna go. So when I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is how it happened. And also watching the process for me was really interesting because I'd never been on a set like that. It was just really cool. It was like, oh, we gotta get this shot and this shot, because when you watch it, it's done so well that you don't realize like there's these close-ups, there's a shot from here. It's like 3 seconds on television, but it's really hours and hours of doing it.
Yeah. Trinity, how many days did you shoot on that?
Well, mine was spread out a little bit. So I was there for probably about 2 weeks in Los Angeles. And so we filmed certain scenes at different times through that 2 weeks. But what's crazy about it is everything looks so legit, but so much of it is literally walls like this that you guys have created inside studios. And it's mind-blowing when you watch it and you're like, that's not a real wall. That's painted to look old and moldy.
Yeah, right, because that hallway that we have our first scene in where I said, you did not just call that child a bitch.
And then you go and say, good job, bitch.
Yeah. Juju, did you have scenes with Izzy G?
I had scenes where I looked at her. I don't.
That's
Side
not
eye.
creepy at all.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I was watching her. I was in the bushes watching her. No, it was a scene where we were talking about AA, NA, and PA. It was her basically going through and just bribing all of our people. So technically we weren't on camera together ever.
Yeah, yeah. So now here you are acting in this Netflix TV show. Do you want to do more acting? Do you want to do more?
Yes, I think that you should kill off Lady Danger, and I should take her place as the evil villain.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
It's a good idea. It's a very good idea.
Nothing is more scary than a bitter old pageant queen who never got her crown.
And you still don't have your crown.
Do you want to continue to act?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I'm not as great as she is playing the, but I would love to. I was a theater major, so it's always been a dream for me to pretend to be somebody else.
Do you have your eye on some project that's been made before or that's never been made that you would love to star in?
You know, it's a TV show, and I would love to play the lead one day. Where I take over the role of RuPaul for RuPaul's Drag Race. It's a pretty good role. I'm just kidding. No, because I'm not really familiar with acting, it's not really been part of my repertoire. Doing AJ and the Queen has definitely shown me I like to do comedy. I like to do slapstick. So if I could continue to do roles like that, I'm totally in. I just like to act a fool.
Now, do you both know queens who you've known for years who have auditioned for the show and have never gotten on?
Yes, of course. I know queens in Texas that have auditioned every year, and do they ever ask you like how to do it?
Girl, people be asking all us Drag Race queens every time
what's
it comes.
the secret?
Girl,
I don't know.
I need you to put in a good work, bitch. They don't listen to me.
Yeah.
I've suggested.
Now, when you look back on your time on Drag Race, I think you've both been on many times. I lost count, but what would people be the most surprised about the experience of taping Drag Race?
Would you mind? Yeah. I think people would be really shocked to know that when the queens are back there and we're just kind of hanging out, it's like the most human thing. Because I think they're watching us dressed up in drag and just having a great time. But when we actually get to sit down and have a meal together, it's like being with family. It's like our chosen family.
Let's go back to AJ and the Queen for a second. Now, if we were to get a season 2 and your characters were to continue on in this series, I want to ask both of you, what would you like your character to do in season 2 of AJ and the Queen?
I think Lee St. Lee would chair meetings, and I think that AJ's mom would be Lee St. Lee's sponsee.
Oh, you mean chair meetings, not like the PTA meetings?
Oh no, like a PA meeting. Pennsylvania. Do you know what I mean?
I do. Yeah. That's a good idea. If we get picked up, I will have them write that into the script. Yes. Do you have a hard time watching yourself on camera?
I hate the sound of my voice. I don't know what it is. I cringe. But yeah. There's things that I realize about myself, like the little ticks or the little like nods and stuff that I do. It's just weird. It's weird.
All right, so Trinity, if the show were to get picked up in season 2, what would you like to see your character do in season 2?
I have thought about this a lot. So, you know, the pageant queen goes everywhere.
Yeah.
And obviously, I've had a little work done.
Wait, what?
Yep. I went to CVS once. So I think that Danielle should go. She doesn't know who stole her crown.
Right.
So she's going to go see Lady Danger to go get some work done for her next pageant.
Okay.
And then Lady Danger tells her that you stole my crown. And so then something happens with Lady Danger where I kill her so I can actually be the villain. And then I come after you.
Oh my goodness, that's a whole scenario there.
Right. So write it in.
That's fantastic. Now, you mentioned having had work done. Are you done with it, or do you want more stuff?
No, girl, I'm going right after I leave here.
What have
back
you had
to the
done?
hotel, honey. No, I love plastic surgery.
Yeah.
I love it. What I'm doing now is, though, I'm going back and like taking stuff out.
You're taking stuff out?
Yeah, I actually had some of my silicone removed out of my lips.
Yeah.
I had another rhinoplasty to fix the first one to make it a little bit wider because it was crazy looking.
Wait, how many nose jobs have you had?
I've had a nose career by now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
A nose career. Okay. So, and what about you, Juju? Do you want anything done?
Oh no, yellow mellows. Okay, we don't age like quiches. That's not pointed at anybody.
Do you regret any of your procedures?
No, I have been very lucky that I haven't had any major complications. I will say this, after season 9, my body went into shock because people don't realize how rigorous doing the show, and especially if you make it all the way, you're there for so long, and it's really hard on your body.
Yeah.
And because of the filming hours and just in heels, and girl, it's just a lot. So my body went in shock, and for the top 4 episode where I'm doing category is, my body looks right in that little cheetah print thing.
Yeah.
But it's because my body was so swollen. My right hip was, it was rock hard.
Really?
And so as soon as I went home, I didn't dare tell nobody because I did not want to be Eureka'd.
Yeah.
So I was like, girl, I'm either gonna make it through this competition or I'm gonna die. Oh, it's one or the other. I've lived my life. So when I got home, I went to the doctor and they did some cortisone shots and that cleared it up. So that's the worst of it.
Rock hard. You mean your joints were stiff, or
No, my hip, where I had injections in my hip. Girl, she's supple. You don't need to be touching there.
Yeah, that's soft. That's
Yeah.
soft, guys.
But she was not. She was rock hard. It was hard.
Because you've had injections just pumped. You've been pumped
Pumped.
in there,
Yes.
and it's just free form.
Yeah. Unfortunately. I don't ever suggest anyone doing that. By the way, if you're gonna have any body work done, please see an actual doctor. There's so many ways nowadays that you can actually get stuff done legitimately. You do not have to do back alley, any kind of plastic surgery.
Yeah, no, we've all seen the girls who unfortunately have had some issues with that. Is there anything you guys want to add to this conversation before we go to the questions about your experience with AJ and the Queen, which, by the way, is streaming right now on Netflix. Mm-hmm. And I got to see it last weekend. First of all, every time one would be finished, I would go in and watch it. And then, of course, when it is almost finished, we go in and do ADR, which is where you go in and you try to match your mouth with what's on the screen. Did you all have to do ADR?
Yeah.
What lines did you have to say? Do you remember? Are you good at ADR?
Girl, I don't know. Better than Valentina with lip syncing, because but no, when I had to do some stuff where I was walking through during the brunch, I had mimicked my words going, "Hey, girl," and they're like, "No, we actually need you to say it." So. I'm like, it's not really that hard to say, "Hey, girl."
What ADR did you do?
Remember when I come with the queens and I give you that basket of wigs?
Yes.
The red wigs?
Yeah.
So the ADR that I did was when I turn around to grab the basket and I'm like, "Give me the wigs, girl." So I added that. So it wasn't really mimicking I wasn't lip syncing or lip reading or anything. And then there was another part where I was like, "We know red's your thing." And that was it.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It was fun. I've never done that. So that was a really, really cool thing to do.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Please go watch the show.
Right.
It's really amazing. It's super fun. If you're a fan of Drag Race, you're gonna love it. If you've never seen Drag Race, you're gonna love it. I will say, people see the TV and they take it for the Bible, and you're gonna see a whole different side of Ru that you don't get to see on RuPaul's Drag Race. It's just really cool. It's really endearing. The story that they tell it hits home to a lot of people.
It's relatable, it's witty, it's campy, it's fun, and you get to see your favorite queens.
Yes, you do. I've been in this business for a long time, and it was the most challenging thing I've ever done in show business, and I feel like I've lived my whole life to be able to do this show. Mm-hmm. It is so fulfilling. It was so hard, though, because I was afraid of revealing so much of myself and so much of my vulnerability. Because, I 38 years in this business, and there's a certain protective shell that you develop so that you don't get yourself hurt. Because people, with social media, people have all this stuff to say, whatever. So you put a shell. But to do this work, I had to remove that shell and be completely vulnerable. And so it was scary. It's very scary. But I hope we get a second season. I hope Lee and Danielle Dupree all come back and get on the RV with us.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to take some questions from the audience. What about this kid right here with the red hand up, red sparkly thing there? Stand up. Where are you from, and what is your name?
Hi, I'm Tia. I'm from Port Slade.
What's your question, Tia?
I would love to go into the drag business. I'd love to be a drag king one day. I'm wondering if you have any advice.
Any advice for a budding drag king?
You know what? I think is really important about performing in drag is to have a backstory and to have a reason why you do it. So I would say just go for it, write your backstory, make it an extension of yourself, and just be happy doing it. That's what I would go.
There is an amazing drag king that started drag at the same time I did in Birmingham, and his name is Spikey Dykey. Go on Instagram and research him. His prosthetics for his beard, his tattooing, how he tapes, his fake nipples that he puts on. It's like detailed. Do details. Research. Invest. Practice. You'll be amazing.
Thank you, Tia. All right, so who's got a question? Who's got a good question there? What about the man back there in the red back there?
Thank you. My name's Neil. I'm from London.
Wait, slow it down. Neil?
Yep.
And you're from London?
Yeah.
That's in England, right?
Yeah.
Good. What's your question?
My question is, if Netflix came to you and said, we will give you a season 2 of AJ and the Queen, but you have to have Lady Bunny in it, what role would you consider giving her? And Trinity and Jujubee, please feel free to help give your ideas as well.
Well, Netflix would never say that. But if we had to give her a role, it would probably be as the devil. No, guys, for you kids who don't know, Lady Bunny and I grew up together in Atlanta, Georgia, in separate, it's family. So we get to joke about Lady Bunny and all of that. But my answers to you, Phil, are actually still the truth. They would never ask her to do this. Yeah. Yeah. Do you have an opinion? Have you all worked with Lady Bunny?
Yeah, I love Lady Bunny. I think that she would be in AJ and the Queen. She would do phenomenal as a football player, a truck driver, a bus driver.
I was gonna say truck driver. That was a
your
good
bodyguard. Any of those she would be amazing at. So natural.
Yeah. A refrigerator. Yes, a double door. A refrigerator.
We joke about Lady Bunny because she takes the piss out of herself, and one of the funniest people I have ever met, one of the smartest people I've ever met, just, it really is. She really is family. Speaking of family, my sister Rosie's right there. Stand up, Rosie. Let everybody see you. Yeah. Who is that man right there? Yes.
Hi, my name's Leo. I'm from London.
Leo, wait, you're from Leo. Your name
my
is
name
Leo?
is Leo,
Leo, like Leo the lion.
like the sign, yeah.
Okay, and you're from London.
I'm from London,
What
yeah.
part of London?
East London.
Oh, is that like Stratford?
Yeah, very close to Stratford.
Okay, all right.
I was
great.
very excited to know that you were filming in Stratford, and I used to work in Stratford, and every day at the tube station, I used to think that maybe I would bump into you, but because you said once on What's the Tea that you used to go through the tube station at Stratford.
No, I love that mall. I love Stratford Mall.
It's so fun, yeah.
And then that's where I would catch the tube right there.
Yeah.
Because we filmed over at 3 Mills Studios, which is just 5 minutes from there. And I loved it. I love it over there. What's your question, Leo?
My question is, I love in AJ and the Queen your relationship with AJ. And as like a queer adult, I'm always...
wait a minute, you gotta slow down.
As a queer adult...
Oh, you're a queer adult.
Yes, I am an adult. I'm interested in any advice you might have for the way that we can talk to young, potentially queer kids and how we can let them know that how they feel is okay and that they're accepted and that they're loved, and how we can open up that conversation from like quite a young age before they're kind of coming out. Does that make sense?
No, it does make sense. Thank you. It's a great question. You know, I'm not really, I love this kid. Her name is Izzy G, who plays AJ. Love this kid. She looks like a baby Madonna. Like Madonna Ciccone, right? Looks just like her. Yeah. I love this kid. I'm not a child person, though, you know? I think they're great over there. And I love peace and quiet. I just love it. I love it. I do. So I'm not really big on children, but when I am around children, I'm very honest. I don't speak in a child voice. I speak to them like they're human beings. And I want to give them my honesty because I want them to experience it. So that's my advice, is always to speak to them like other human beings. Are you around children? Are you?
I mean, I come from a kind of a large family outside of like my immediate family, but to address your question, we obviously need to be support systems for young gay youth, but the biggest thing to me is educating parents, because they are going to be the ones that actually talk with their kids first. And we have to be open to dialogue with people that have opposite opinions as us and not go head to head in a negative way. There's a way to talk to people where you can change their mind or teach them without it being hostile.
Yeah. Do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, that was a great question, and I actually think we're doing it now. I think us just being in this room at RuPaul's Dragcon UK, I think us just being available and being visible and living out loud and being who we are, I think we're already doing it. I think we're already teaching them.
I think being around these events like this, it really does open their eyes to the possibilities of what there is. I think, you know, parents always want to, preach to their kids, but what happens is children learn their lessons of abundance, of how body acceptance, of sexuality, just by their parents just being. You pick that stuff up through osmosis, not by someone, preaching to you. Ladies and gentlemen, give these wonderful queens a big round of applause.